Okay, I just want to show you a quick method to fix the issue that you have sometimes when the grid data component doesn't save the first row. So you can see I've got here my data grid. I've got two columns going with it. If I click in now to edit and go to data, you'll see that I've already got here a row that is sort of the example row. And if I add another, you can see I could have it start off with two, or I could even have three, and that would just have three areas to put in information when the user started. The problem is that this first one that was here was actually just a placeholder. It's not a real one, and that's why if you don't do what I'm going to show you to do, it won't save that. So the easy fix is that you just delete that first one. So when you come in, you'll see whatever you've got in your data grid, you'll see here. And what you want to do is click add another, and then wherever the first one was, delete that first one, and that clears out that first example. And then now when you save, make sure you save it. When you actually go to use it, the first row will actually be a real row and not that placeholder row. Okay, this is just another tip on using the grid. The problem sometimes with the grid is if you get too many columns, it gets hard to read the columns and it doesn't display nicely. So you can see here I've got an empty grid and I've got four things I want to get into that grid. So if I do that, I'll put these all in, and you'll see, especially if you have something like a date field and a description, you can see that this will start to scrunch up even if I preview it. And the more you add in there, the more cramped the information will get. So a better way to do that, instead of putting them in as separate columns, what we're going to do is group them first. So actually I'm going to drag everything back out. And it's best to do this, set this up before you actually put them into the data grid. But what I do is go in here to my form fields and grab this layout called the container. And the container is just that. It's just a kind of a tool to group things. So we can put in all of our fields like this. And then we've got those grouped together. And then instead of putting them individually into the activity grid, we can just grab this whole group and put it in there. And now we've got this section that's much easier to read. And if we preview this now, you'll see it'll look like this. And you could obviously you could even put columns in here or adjust this to make it look even better. But now when I go to add another section, I get another section down below with those things, and it's nice and wide as it can be. So that's just a tip, and it also is important to do this if printing out the forms is important to you, because again, if it's all scrunched up, it won't display nicely, it won't print nicely. So that's the best way to use the grid.